Last week, the principal of John Reynolds Elementary School in Philadelphia, Salome Thomas L., told us he believes gangster rap music is extremely harmful to his inner city students. So we decided to get Grammy-nominated Cameron, who raps about pimping and bitches, and among other things, and rap producer Damon Dash, a co-founder of Rockefeller Records, together with Mr. Thomas L., who joins us now from Philly. And here they all are. Now, we're going to have a nice, intelligent discussion here, gentlemen, and I'm going to moderate this discussion.
Pimping and bitches.
Yeah, you know.
Pimping and bitches.
Let's reflect on the greatest Fox News segment of all time.
I spoke to some students today.
Which involves this man, Thomas L., a school principal.
Like with me, I'm just an author. So what you do is, what I do is I write what goes on in the ghetto. I'm not a liar. So if what I tell you goes on in my album, that's what goes on in the streets of Harlem. Now I'm like a reporter. You look at the news, you don't get mad at the person reporting the news. A lot of influence, I think, go to movies. A lot of people look at the movies and then they react. The kids that killed them kids in, where was that, Dave? Like Columbine. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? I don't think they were listening to rap at all. I think that was more like a Marilyn Manson jump off, you know, like.
Former Rockefeller Records artist Cameron.
What if an 11-year-old kid imitates you, Cameron? What if he uses four-letter words and he develops a lifestyle based upon the street? He gets tattooed. He gets all this.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let me just say, and then you can jump in. Do you feel badly about that?
No, I don't.
Can I maybe interject? If a 11-year-old were to imitate Cameron, what they would be doing is becoming a CEO of their own company, controlling their own destiny, taking a bad situation and making it good. He has a record company.
Former manager of Jay-Z and business partner at Rockefeller, Damon Dash.
But on another level, when Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Terminator, he was shooting up half of everyone in sight.
It's a cartoon, though. This is more real.
The Terminator is not a cartoon.
This is real, though, isn't it?
Well, no.
In my life, everybody's rap is
This is real. It's not a Terminator cartoon. All right, Mr. Thomas L., what else do you want to ask these guys?
You didn't let me finish that. That wasn't very fair.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, let Mr. Dash finish.
Now, we're talking about the good governor of California.
That's right. And I'm telling you, his movie's a cartoon, whereas his rap stuff is real life.
But you said if
Who
there's
are you to determine that?
Hold on, Ken. If there's an unsupervised child, how is he to know whether it's real or not? How is he to determine what's real and what's not real? Who's to supervise him?
All right. Do you think that the Terminator movies are just as damaging or more so than gangster rap?
I would have to say, being that there's a visual, and being there's no explanation to him, and being that
visuals on these rap videos.
And, of course, a man fired from Fox News, Bill O'Reilly.
But what I'm saying is it's glorified. There's no justification for all the shooting that goes on. So if he's reporting what goes on around the street, he's a product of his environment. Not to say him, but he's reporting what is a product of his environment. How is that wrong for him to report that?
Gentlemen, let's be honest.
Thomas L., get in here.
It was the stonewalling of O'Reilly, as he always did, to impede the dialogue from being had with Dame and Cam, continually interrupting because everyone knows who O'Reilly is and what he's about.
I'm a critic of the movie industry also. I think that these kids are watching too much TV, period. But my issue is that when you rap about what these children relate to because it's in their environment. You've already stated that they don't know your story because you're a CEO, and I agree. But see, you don't promote that, and your company doesn't promote that. They promote the four-letter words.
We don't promote entrepreneurship. We don't promote positive and ownership of your company. I'm making it cool to be smart.
All right.
I'm making it cool. Wait, let me talk. I'm making it cool to be a businessman.
It's not about business.
It's not about business for you because you feel like it might give you better ratings to portray something negative within the image of hip-hop.
It is negative.
It's not negative to be a businessman.
And this is where the brilliance of Dash crushes O'Reilly's spirit, which led to this famous moment.
It's not negative to take care of the economy around you.
It's negative to make money, Mr. Dash, if you hurt children.
How do you hurt children by promoting to be an entrepreneur and a CEO and to do right by?
Looking at a principle.
For example.
Hold it. You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad.
An iconic sequence.
Where'd you start? Current affair, right?
No, wrong.
Well, you faked a lot. I got dirt on you, doggy.
Cameron,
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
You go ahead. You get at me.
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
Let's pause here for a moment. In 2017, O'Reilly was let go by Murdoch Corp. After a Times investigation found a total of 5 women received payouts from either Mr. O'Reilly or the company in exchange for agreeing to not pursue litigation or speak about their accusations against him. The agreements totaled about $13 million. The women who made allegations against Mr. O'Reilly either worked for him or appeared on his show. They have complained about a wide range of behavior, including verbal abuse, lewd comments, unwanted advances, and phone calls in which it sounded as if Mr. O'Reilly was touching himself. According to documents and interviews, the reporting suggests a pattern. As an influential figure in the newsroom, Mr. O'Reilly would create a bond with some women by offering advice and promising to help them professionally. He then would pursue sexual relationships with them, causing some to fear that if they rebuffed him, their careers would stall. So when Cameron said this,
I got dirt on you, doggy.
what exactly did he mean? He told Noisy the following. As far as all the sexual allegations, before I went up there, what I did was my publicist had told me about a lot of that stuff. But instead of being serious with him, we had so much fun clowning him that it just turned into a roast session. And we just started laughing at him.
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
You go ahead. You get at
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
Listen, you guys. You're looking at a guy who teaches inner city kids and who is telling you face to face that he has problems with kids based upon a rap music, and you're rationalizing it all up and down.
I thought you were going to mediate.
I am.
No, what you're doing, you're giving opinions. That's not. You're not an objective mediator now, Bill.
It's my program.
Bill, now it's your program.
Bill, yeah, it's my program.
Bill, come on, Bill.
You'll have the dash factor some other time.
I have the dash factor.
And clearly, that is exactly what they did. Cam would add to the firing. I guess Fox really got tired of him. It wasn't just me. It was a bunch of people he was rude to on the borderline of being racist without necessarily being racist. Like, even when he's up there, like, look at the way he dress. What does he mean by that? What does that mean? He does a lot of stuff that is borderline racist to me. Here's the thing, though, man. O'Reilly isn't borderline racist. He is flat out.
Barack Obama has deep emotional ties to Islam. Well, say you're a cocaine dealer, and you kind of look like one a little bit.
You're not nearly as patriotic as we are.
I didn't hear a word she said. I was looking at the James Brown wig.
Slaves that worked there were well fed and had decent lodgings provided by the government. There's an outreach, I don't even know what that means, by the Obama administration to African Americans. Right? Yeah. I don't know, what does that entail? Are they going to be on Soul Train? I mean, what's going to... Soul Train!
More from O'Reilly. Since he first interviewed rapper Cameron in 2003 about how hip-hop negatively influences black youth, O'Reilly has taken every opportunity to complain that popular black figures are responsible for things like gun violence, drug crimes, and loose sexual mores. Recently, he asked a college basketball coach whether or not his players have been coerced by rap stuff and free drugs. When O'Reilly interviewed President Obama's advisor, Valerie Jarrett, this year, he asked her to get Obama to stop butting up to rappers.
If the principal tells you that there are children in his school, Cameron, who are being adversely affected by your music, do you care?
I care, but you got to talk to their parents.
What if they don't have good parents?
While they're in school, they have to have parents to be in school. Somebody send them to school.
No, they don't have good parents.
So listen, and if that's the case, homeboy, whoever's in my ear on the television, you need to have parent-teacher conferences with your students. Whether it's their aunt, their cousin, their sister, somebody send these kids to school. They're not 11 years old staying home by themselves.
There was a lot of back and forth with O'Reilly cutting off Cam and putting Mr. Thomas L., the school principal, at the forefront. As The Root's Lawrence Ware wrote, a fundamental feature of the ethos of Fox News in general, and O'Reilly in particular, is the way they failed to address the systemic nature of racism. Instead of dealing with poverty and the evils of a criminal justice system that places black boys and girls in situations wherein they are left unsupervised because one parent must work to put food on the table while another may be imprisoned due to racial profiling, O'Reilly and his crew would rather treat blackness as a pathology, as something that rappers can fix if only they discuss things white folks like him would deem appropriate. Topics like mayonnaise, New Balance shoes, and thrift store shopping.
But every opportunity we get, we try to say as positive things as we can, which is why when we do make these money, we give back to a community. Me and Cam ourselves, from 142nd Street to Lenox, we do have a program there that teaches the kids to be positive. We make them go to school. We support a basketball program. And every chance we get, we personally know 150 kids in the neighborhood and speak to them and tell them to stay in school and incentivize them to stay in school.
You didn't make rap look good. You didn't make the industry look good. And we aren't highlighting the positive.
I think that what me and Dash are doing is very, very, very positive for the youth. You just jumped on everything that we've done bad, and there's nothing that we've done bad. Get more in tune with your students, you know what I mean? You need to have parent-teacher conferences. If you need some of these rappers to come in, call the record company, call Rockefeller Records, call Diplomat Records, and ask us to come in and speak to your students.
I think a lot of what we said was positive and informative. It's kind of obvious that maybe you don't understand that everything affects everything, whether it be movies, books, literature, a reporter on television. And if you're going to promote anything, I would think that to the culture, to the kids that are watching, you would promote the positive aspect of it. So if you know there is negative in something, try to find the positive as opposed to always talking about the negative. That's the thing I don't understand, why we critique so hard within hip-hop. No one talks about the jobs we create, no one talks about the things we do within our community, and no one talks about the businesses we've done, how we've opened the doors and showed people that it's cool to be smart, it's cool to be a CEO, it's cool to take advantage, not to take advantage, but to reap the benefits of all your labor and to do it fairly. I can't see how that could ever be considered a negative, and I'm disappointed in the fact that you would be thinking that.
In closing, O'Reilly thought he could ambush Cam and Dame by teaming up with a black principal to verbally accost them. But the former remained steadfast in his unapologetic a-holeness, while the latter poked holes in each and every accusation lobbed at them. Eventually, the principal ended up agreeing with the two guests, while Bill rushed to a commercial break. Cam, recognizing the nature of the moment, leaned back in his chair once more, smiled, pointed to Bill, and said, "You mad?" It was not a question, it was a prophetic statement. Bill was mad as hell. Cam would add, "It wasn't something that I thought would be legendary or be carried on 7 or 8, 9 years later, however long it's been, but I'm glad that it did."